Now at 5, marijuana consumers might pay a little less in Missouri, but some counties might suffer. Plus, efforts to improve pedestrian safety around Cady College, and
President Biden greenlights a policy shift he previously worried could escalate Russia's war with Ukraine. I'm Torian Small in Washington with that change as this conflict nears its 1,000th day.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A court ruling in Missouri could change who can tax recreational marijuana. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. When Missouri voters legalized recreational marijuana use for adults in 2022, local governments were allowed to place an additional 3% tax on the products if voters approved. This saw both cities and counties approve the tax, including Jasper County, Newton County, and some cities like Joplin and Carthage. Well, this month, the Eastern Division Missouri Court of Appeals ruled cities and counties can't both issue that sales tax. According to that ruling, counties can only tax sales at stores in unincorporated areas where the county is the local tax jurisdiction.
We only have 5 dispensaries, and I'm not sure exactly, but most of them are in cities. Most of them are in an organized city, and so we essentially would get nothing.
According to the Jasper County Auditor, in the past calendar year, Jasper County has generated more than $1 million in revenue from the marijuana sales tax. The Missouri Department of Revenue has not yet announced if or when counties will stop collecting these taxes or if previously collected funds will have to be returned. The president of Cady College in Nevada, Missouri, says the school is having conversations with the Missouri Department of Transportation to see what measures can be taken to promote the safety of students. This comes after 2 Cady College students were struck by a car last week. Happened as they crossed from the north side of campus to the south side. The crosswalk is on a state highway.
The students in that accident did all that they were supposed to do. They pushed the button, they waited to cross, but unfortunately a driver came upon that while they were in the crosswalk.
Before the accident occurred, additional signage had been added near the crosswalk to alert drivers that there is a pedestrian walkway ahead. One of the students struck by the car is home. The other remains in the hospital in stable condition. Clearing out there a bit now after a rainy day. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney.
Temperatures this morning actually started off warmer than we got this afternoon. Highs of upper 60s while our lows was this afternoon around 3 o'clock of about 60 degrees. So we're cooling down as those showers are passing. You can see the sun starting to come back out, and this is Joplin, but we are still seeing wind gusts up to 35-40 miles per hour. Now, the most amount of rainfall that we have seen is about 2 inches near north of Pittsburgh, Iola, north of Chanute, and near Veneta as well. The rest of us received anywhere from about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So we did get a good amount of rainfall, looking pretty good. We still have that wind threat that remains in effect until for another hour, just because of those wind gusts strengthening. Now, most of the rain has started to clear out of here. We still have overcast skies, maybe some partly cloudy skies ahead. But other than that, we're looking forward to a fantastic day tomorrow. I'll have those details coming up.
See you soon. Tomorrow marks 1,000 days since Russia invaded Ukraine, with war reaching the 3-year mark in February. Now the Biden administration has greenlit a major policy shift in how Ukraine uses U.S. ballistic missiles. It comes as North Korean troops join the fight with Russian forces. Reporter Torian Small has the latest.
President Biden is using his final weeks in office to okay Ukraine's use of U.S. ballistic missiles for attacks inside Russia. The U.S. supplied Ukraine with the Army tactical missile system last year, which can strike targets up to 190 miles away. The White House had concerns using the weapons on targets in Russia would escalate the war. But now Biden is approving their use across the border.
The United States strongly supports Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Recently, 11,000 North Korean troops joined Russian forces, a move experts say pushed the Biden administration to act.
The increased escalation by Putin, bringing in North Korean troops, really solidifying this as a global conflict with troops from North Korea fighting in Europe. I think that was the last straw for the Biden administration.
In his nightly video address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the longer-range missiles will speak for themselves. Time should be invested not to talk to someone in Moscow, but to force Russia to end the war, he said. His message came shortly after Russia launched one of its largest attacks in months on Ukrainian civilians, killing at least 11 and injuring dozens in Odessa. Volunteers in Kyiv have created a massive memorial to mark 1,000 days of war, each blue and yellow flag honoring a soldier who died fighting the Russian invaders. Torian Small, CBS News, Washington.
President-elect Trump claims he can bring a quick end to the war, though it's unclear what that would mean for the parts of Ukraine that Russia currently controls. Still ahead, caring for the caregivers.
How the stress of caregiving is impacting the U.S. economy. I'm Cristian Benavides with One Woman's Story.
And misconceptions about what's termed hurried child syndrome. Those stories next in Health Watch.
Hey, Ashley.
Topping today's Health Watch, a social media panic headline known as hurried child syndrome isn't quite what you might think. It claims that rushing your child to get ready to get out the door in the morning, for example, could cause them to develop anxiety. But author and parenting expert Emily Oster says there's no evidence that's true. She says actual hurried child syndrome pertains to overscheduling your child, pushing them to overachieve or expecting them to respond like an adult, and there's a way to avoid it.
What I would ask parents is, are you happy with the way your family is operating? Are you feeling hurried? Rather than saying, are you hurrying your kids, are you feeling like every day we're going from this to this to this to this to this, and I don't have any time to prioritize family time or the things we want to be doing together? And that's maybe a clue that you could give up on some of those extracurriculars. And I think we need to give parents permission to say, it's okay if your kid doesn't play 17 different travel soccer sports. That's okay.
She says it might still be a struggle to get your kids out the door, but the only label for that is life. Expecting moms who take anti-seizure medications could raise the risk of neurodevelopmental issues in their children. A study by Drexel University found a link, however, they say the risk is still very low. The study's authors say it's important to discuss medications taken while pregnant with your doctor. Caring for an aging family member can be challenging. During this National Family Caregivers Month, Cristian Benavides shows us how for some it means giving up their job.
90-year-old Miami resident Elvira Tris requires around-the-clock care for Alzheimer's disease. Her daughter, 65-year-old Anna, left her job as an executive at a major retailer to care for her.
She doesn't know she has to eat. She doesn't know that she has to go to the restroom. She refuses to bathe. She can't take her medication.
At first, she tried to juggle both her job and caring for her aging mother, but it became too much. She left the company she worked at for 40 years.
The stress of having the dual job, and big job at home.
According to a recent AARP survey, 67% of adult caregivers say they have a hard time balancing their jobs with caregiving duties. 27% have gone from working full-time to part-time.
The survey also found more than 15% of caregivers stopped working entirely due to the stress.
AARP estimates there are 48 million adult caregivers in the U.S. Most provide at least 20 hours of care a week.
What we are seeing is the number of adults turning 65 is at the highest level. The pool of adults who are going to be in need of caregiving is actually growing at a much faster pace than the available pool of caregivers.
Tris had to hire an additional 3 caregivers to help with her mother, who has good days and bad.
It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. And today's a pretty good day. And she was an amazing mother. I had an amazing life, my whole life. So now it's my turn.
A difficult reality for a growing number of Americans. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
According to AARP, by 2030, the number of people needing caregiving will surpass available caregivers. Sitting for too long is bad for your heart. A study by the American College of Cardiology looked at the dangers of sitting for 10.5 hours a day. They found it was linked to heart failure and death, even for people who exercise regularly. The good news, they say taking a break from sitting for 30 minutes and exercising lowers your risk. And spending some time in nature can help children with behavioral and mental health issues. A study by McGill University found 10 to 12-year-olds with significant mental health problems benefited from spending 2 hours a week of class time in nature. Teachers reported a reduction in anxiety, depression, and aggression. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, troubled times for Spirit Airlines.
And it's been rainy all day, but we'll have a full look at what you can expect the next couple of days coming up. We've gotten quite a bit of rain in the area, but so far it's on its way out. Let's go ahead and take a look outside Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. So looks pretty rainy or wet out there, but most of the rain has started to shift off to the east and we're looking good. Now, we do still have a wind advisory until 6 p.m. So continuing just for another 30 minutes or so, and then a flood warning out in Miami until Wednesday morning due to all of the rain that we've gotten. Now, as you can see, clouds are starting to make their way out near Independence and Chanute. Then it's clear skies following that. But rain showers are nearly out of our area, out towards Springfield, still kind of clipping Stockton and some of our far eastern counties, but we're almost out of the woods. Now, winds will continue to gust all the way through this evening, up to 35 miles per hour, dying down a little bit as we head into Monday evening, 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. But by Tuesday morning, looking good. Winds are light and we're mostly sunny skies. So let's look at that future track. So we're already seeing these showers pushing off to the east. Clouds continuing to move through, and then after that, mostly sunny skies through most of the week and much cooler temperatures as well. So amount of rain that we've already received is somewhere between 2 to 3 inches north of Pittsburgh, near Iola, also near Veneta down in Oklahoma as well. So you can see where those little yellow patches are on the map over here where we have some higher amounts of rainfall, but everywhere in the green is anywhere from about 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. So we got a lot. That was a good, good amount of rain that we received. We'll know more on Thursday when our drought tracker gets updated, how it affected our drought. Now, through the rest of the week, temperatures are going to be pretty cool. We're starting off the morning still in the mid to upper 40s, and then we're warming up upper 50s by noon, getting to the low 60s for our high, but sunny all day. It's going to be fantastic. After that, temperatures will continue to drop. So Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, our overnight lows are going to be in the mid 30s, mid to upper 30s. You can see 37 in Chanute, Iola, and Neodesha, but 35 in Joplin, 34 in Monette. Now, temperatures are going to be much cooler on Wednesday, low 50s, even upper 40s in some areas, 49 in Lamar and Nevada, 51 in Oswego and Jay, about 50 in Joplin. And you can see winds are out of the north. Now, winds do pick up as well Wednesday and on Thursday. With these cool overnight temperatures, we could see some pretty cool, pretty chilly wind chills in the morning. Now, Thursday morning, our lows are at or below freezing, and that's going to be just for those couple of days, but we do start to warm up as we head into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday already getting back into the 60s with our overnight lows back in the 40s. Now, our next chance of rain isn't until just before Thanksgiving. We're going to have, as of right now, a weak cold front move through Tuesday and Wednesday. Some scattered showers, but limited severe weather threat. Again, they're still over a week away, but that will drop our temperatures back down to low 50s on Thanksgiving.
And those rain changes prior to Thanksgiving might impact some travel plans. People have to be careful out there.
Yes,
sure.
I wanted to give a little heads up, but I don't think it's going to be severe, but we are still a little ways away. So,
right. Thanks, Lindsay. Coming up, the battle against unwanted text messages.
Good for 23.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, major news from Spirit Airlines right as we head into the busy holiday travel season. The company is filing for bankruptcy, but services will operate as normal and people can still book flights for the holidays. Bankruptcy follows a rough stretch for the airline, including a failed merger with JetBlue, an engine recall that grounded dozens of its planes, and weaker than expected sales. The airline calls this a restructuring agreement meant to position the company for long-term success. Spirit has lost more than $2.5 billion since the start of 2020. It faces looming debt payments totaling more than $1 billion over the next year, obligations it was unlikely to be able to meet. California-based Grimway Farms is recalling its organic carrots due to a possible E. coli outbreak. The CDC says dozens were sickened in 18 states. One person has died. At least 15 other people have been hospitalized. The carrots were sold under multiple brand names in grocery stores all across the country, including Walmart, Publix, Target, and Whole Foods. People who have the recalled carrots should throw them away or return them to the store for a refund. They should also clean and sanitize any surfaces the recalled product came into contact with. Since the election, CBS has reported on racist text messages sent to black people all across our country. Members of other minorities have also been victimized. It's not yet clear who is responsible or how the senders even knew the race of the targets. Reporter Usher Qureshi tells us it has a lot to do with how much of our personal information is already out there.
Wednesday at 8:46 p.m. it says, "Greetings, Jaira L. You have been selected to..."
In Denver, Jaira Lawrence tossed and turned all night after getting this racist text addressed to her specifically by name and from a local area code.
I kind of start freaking out a little bit just because I do live alone, and I was just like, okay, do I have to question my safety?
She received one of 18 versions of the message texted to people in at least 32 states and D.C. She tried calling the number used to send the message.
The number you are trying to reach is no longer in service.
I have no idea also who texted me that. I have no idea how they got my information.
How do you target a specific group of people based on ethnicity or race?
I think what people tend to overlook is that they sort of bleed a lot of that information out on the wider internet. Any site that you go on these days is going to have you register your name, address, phone number, and very frequently your race and or your socioeconomic status.
Digital forensics expert Patrick Seward says every time you subscribe to a list or buy something online, your personal data can be sold by companies or exposed through data breaches and cyber attacks.
There's always an assumed risk with everything that we do online, and that risk is that some of our personal information could be then used for some sort of nefarious purpose.
Seward suggests a tech reset of sorts. Use an internet-based phone service like Google Voice to avoid sharing your personal cell number. And create a secondary email for transactions to protect the account you use for personal email. Consider the backup accounts disposable if they are compromised.
So I kind of call it a throwaway email.
As Lawrence learned, it's unlikely you'll stop every unwanted message, but you can try to filter out texts like you do with email spam. In your iPhone settings, tap Messages and scroll down to turn on Filter Unknown Senders. In your Android Google Messages app, go to Messages settings, scroll down to Spam Protection, and enable it. And experts say when you get unexpected messages, don't engage. It's best to use your phone's option to block and report them. That's what Jaira Lawrence did, as she tries to block out this experience.
It's annoying, and I really hope people find out who did it. I've been trying to just be mindful, especially online.
To do that, the FBI needs your help. It's asking anyone who's received one of these racist messages to report it to local law enforcement. The FCC is also investigating. Usher Qureshi, CBS News.
And the U.S. Postal Service is going to honor a beloved Golden Girl. Next year, the late actor Betty White will be featured on a forever stamp. No word yet on the exact release date of that stamp. A final check of the forecast next.
Closed caption.
The CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, Missouri lawmakers push to regulate hemp products, and the Outlaws release their schedule. Stay with us. CBS Evening News, KOAM News at 6. Book lovers in Southeast Kansas had a shot at a members-only book sale. Today, the group Friends of the Pittsburgh Library announced the launch of its fall membership drive. Current and potential members could take advantage of a buy one, get one free book sale on a variety of gently used books. Anyone who purchased a membership also received a free t-shirt. It's been a rainy day out there, but the rain's moving out.
Rain is clearing out in the next couple of days. We're just going to continue to dropping in temperatures by midweek, low 50s, overnight lows at or below freezing.
Yeah, bring the plants in.
Chilly week.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.